Welcome back, everybody. My name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. In today's episode, we're going to go over Tesla's Q2 delivery numbers that just came out. So hit the like button, please subscribe, and let's get into it. All right, so here we have it from Tesla Investor Relations page. We can see that's the Q2 2021 vehicle production and deliveries. And just right out the gate, we can see that Tesla definitely blew it out of the water, in my opinion. We can see that they delivered a total of 201,250 vehicles and produced 206,421. So, right off the bat, quarter over the quarter, year over year, these are monster numbers. We'll go over it in my chart in a little bit here, but let's get a little more into what we see here. Again, keep in mind, whisper numbers kept changing throughout the entire month. I believe at the beginning of the month, we saw about a 180,000 whisper number from analysts in the market in general. And over the course of the month, that went from 180 to 185 to 190. And I think a couple of days ago, is the first time I heard a whisper number of being around 200,000. So, with a whisper of 200,000, this doesn't look like a blowout, but when you put it from a greater viewpoint of the entire quarter and what people were projecting, what people were expecting from Tesla, this is actually a massive beat. So with that said, interesting, we've got less deliveries and production. In my opinion, this is a good sign. This is probably just a matter of they weren't able to get customers to actually take delivery. So that's why that number might not be higher compared to production. But either way, it doesn't matter. Everything I'm sure that's over here in the 206,000 produced, it's already sold. I mean, you can look anywhere on YouTube, the news, even in the showrooms, all of the Tesla vehicles are sold out. My fiance and I actually just went to a Tesla showroom yesterday, and everything was empty. I couldn't believe it. So, this 206 could have easily been the deliveries for this quarter. Again, let's look at S and X. This is pretty surprising, actually. Model S, being that it just started delivering Model S's in June, so a month essentially. Already 2,340 delivered or produced, and about 2,000 delivered, 1890. This also includes Model X. It'll be interesting to see in the breakout how many Model X's actually got delivered, especially compared to what my projections were. But yeah, overall, very solid numbers. Great quarter for Tesla, and we'll see what happens during the actual earnings report. See what happened in terms of margin. Keep in mind that the new Model S's, even though they're not in crazy volume just yet, right? We should, expect that to increase over the next coming quarters, probably about 25,000 vehicles a quarter. But keep in mind, those are higher margin vehicles. And even now with the Model S Plaid, it's even more expensive than what it was previously. So margins are extremely good with those vehicles. So let's go ahead and get into my charts and see, how the numbers reflect compared to what my predictions were. Okay, so here we have my chart and my estimates for the Q2 deliveries. You can see all of those here in red. Now, clearly, I was a little bit off. I was 204,000, more or less 205,000 was my number. Holistically, thinking about what was produced and what was actually delivered, not too bad. I kind of hovered around that range between the 201 and 206 of the actual numbers. So, pretty happy with that. I'm not going to bother changing any of what you see in red right now. Just doesn't make sense until we actually get the release from the actual earnings, so we can actually plug in the correct numbers. So I'm not going to bother with this and try to fudge it a little bit. We'll just keep it as it is. But let's scroll down here to produced versus delivered. You can see I have it tracking over the last few quarters for the last couple years. And down here, we can see what the numbers were for Q2. So again, from my perspective, fairly strong numbers. If we just focus on the delivery, we come in here, do some quick math, and we can see that quarter over quarter, as far as deliveries, that's about a 8.8% change. Let's we can make this a little bit prettier. We'll add this. So you can see 8.85% increase quarter over quarter. So very solid numbers from that perspective. And again, this is delivered. If we look at it from a quarter over quarter perspective, right, this should, this will look a lot larger. So Q2 is about 90,000. We'll do this and we'll try to finish it so it looks in a percent form as well. Doesn't like that. It wants the actual marker. There we go. Okay, so 121% increase year over year. That's massive growth, right? That is, showing the volume of what Tesla has going on. And keep in mind, this is only the Fremont factory and the Shanghai factory. And Shanghai is still ramping up. It's not fully ramped yet. And Fremont, they're getting more and more efficient with that factory as well. We're seeing 121% year over year, about 9% quarter over quarter with just these two factories. Now, Berlin and Austin are set to come online in the back half of this year. So, potentially with Austin in, the next few months, and then Berlin towards the end of the year. So, if we're seeing these numbers right now from just two factories, just imagine when we add in this extra capacity, right? These numbers are just going to look astronomical. It's going to go along what we've been talking about with exponential growth. So again, this is why I have such a strong conviction in Tesla. You can see what we've done over the quarters, right? These numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger, right? They're not slowing down. And we have two more factories that are going to come online. The story's just starting, right? This is the time to get in. So let's actually go ahead and take a look and see how the stock is reacting to all of this, and see if there's anything interesting happening over there. Okay, so here is Tesla stock. We're on a one-day chart here on CNBC. We can see that currently it's up $1.10. So right off the back, not too great. But we can see that earlier in the morning, from 9:30 to 10, we actually had a really solid run up, and we had a high of 700 for the day. Let me see if I can. Well, let's just get out of this chart real quick, and we'll be able to see that. So if I scroll down here, we can see that today we hit a high of 700. So that's that psychological barrier that we've been kind of hitting up against for the last week and a half. But very strong move, since it is a psychological barrier. We do expect that, that's a threshold that, once we break it, I think we'll shoot up a lot higher, probably about 7.5 to 7.10. And if we break past 7.10, right, the ceiling's the limit there, or the sky's the limit. So let's take a look at a 1 month chart. So this is what I was referring to. You can see that, 700 is right about a little higher than this, and we keep hitting up against that over and over. So this is a good consolidation. We want these type of breaks. We don't want the stock to just go straight up, because when that happens, it comes straight down. So we want to have these, moments of plateau, letting the stock take a breather, so that as we move up higher, it's a substantial and a solid move that we can rely on. Anytime things start to go parabolic or straight up, they come down just as fast. We saw that with Tesla already whenever it went from, the 400s up to 900, and it came down, pretty hard down to 7, 6, and then we all saw 550 for a while. So I think this is very healthy. It's good that it hit up against the 700, especially leading up into Q2 earnings. Keep in mind, after earnings, we do tend to see a sell-off, which is fine, but it's good to know that before we even get to that run-up, that we have a strong consolidation here, so that if we do sell off after the earnings, at least that 700 level will be a support for us. Again, with the numbers and the margins, the way they could be coming from the Model S, and we all know that Y3 selling out of Shanghai, the margins are substantially better. This could be a very profitable quarter for Tesla. There are some other caveats, with Bitcoin and, what we're going to have to appreciate from that. But, we'll just have to see what happens. So we'll leave it there for today. Don't forget to like, please subscribe. It definitely helps grow the channel. Let me know in the comments below when you think we'll break 700. I think that there's a chance we could do it today. The way the stock's moving right now, it probably wouldn't be until power hour, so from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. But it'd be very interesting to see, what that hour looks like. Either way, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.